All right, so get this, today's deep dive.
It's all about solar panels and batteries.
Okay.
Millions of them.
And this company that's not just thinking about the future of green energy.
They're actually out there building it.
Okay.
We're talking GE4A Group.
And they're on a mission to...
It's like they rewrite the rule book of renewable energy.
Wow.
Intrigued.
And you should be, because...
I just talk.
What makes GE4A really stand out?
Is their focus on making green energy work for everyone?
Okay.
Not just a select few?
They're combining cutting-edge tech like AI.
And this whole concept of a circular economy.
We'll break that down later.
But all of this is to make green energy more accessible.
More affordable for everybody.
So you're not just saving the planet.
You're potentially profiting from it, too.
Exactly. That's a pitch that caught my attention.
Yeah.
And speaking of interesting people...
The CEO, Toralf Nitsch.
This guy has been in the solar game for over 20 years.
Oh.
Talk about experience. He's not new to shaking things up either.
They started with those small solar panels.
You know the ones you put on your balconies?
Yeah.
Remember those?
Balcony power plants?
Yeah, it's fascinating how they've scaled up their vision from there.
Nitsch is a big believer in something he calls...
digital energy.
Okay.
Imagine using data and AI.
To manage the entire life cycle of solar energy.
From when the panel is made to when it's eventually recycled.
And making sure everything is transparent and traceable along the way.
Okay. Digital energy.
It sounds kind of futuristic.
But it's actually incredibly practical.
And here's where it gets really interesting. GE4A just snagged a deal.
For a whopping 15.8 million used solar panels.
Million.
That's a lot.
You listening to this might be...
What are you going to do with all those?
Yeah.
Because where digital energy really shines.
Think about it reusing those millions of panels.
Way more sustainable.
Than making new ones from scratch.
Plus, it could significantly drive down the cost of solar energy.
Making it accessible to even more people.
Okay, so they have a mountain of solar panels.
And a plan to make them useful again.
But how do they actually do that?
How does digital energy work in the real world?
It's all about data.
They've got this system, the GE4A eTrust.
That tracks every single panel.
Okay.
Imagine a digital passport for each one.
It logs where it was made, how it's performing when it needs maintenance. Everything.
This makes the entire process super efficient.
And importantly, builds trust.
Oh, okay.
You know exactly where your energy is coming from.
And how it's being managed.
So it's like a tracking app for your solar panel.
But on a massive industrial scale.
And this transparency.
This ability to follow the journey of each panel.
Is what makes their approach to reusing them so innovative.
Am I getting that right?
You got it.
Okay, so we've got millions of solar panels getting a second life.
Which is already pretty cool in itself.
But then Nitsch takes it a step further.
With the whole idea
of a tokenized energy ecosystem.
Honestly, when I first read that, I was like...
okay, that sounds a bit out there even for me. But then I started thinking about it.
It is big picture thinking.
But it's grounded in...
really interesting concept.
Remember how we talked about the GE4A eTrust?
And how it tracks everything? Well, that level of transparency...
opens up some...
amazing possibilities.
Like what?
Give me an example. How does this whole token thing work in real life?
So imagine this.
You're using energy-efficient appliances, right?
What?
Maybe you've even got some of those.
Fancy new smart devices.
The ones that optimize your energy use.
Right.
In a tokenized system.
Those actions could earn you rewards like tokens.
Okay.
Like digital points.
So like a...
frequent flyer program.
But for being energy conscious.
Exactly.
You earn tokens for generating solar power.
For using energy efficiently.
Even for contributing data to the network.
Huh.
And you can use those tokens for things like discounts on your energy bill.
Okay.
Maybe even cash them in for other goods and services.
I see where you're going with this.
It's like turning everyday sustainability
that's into a game.
A game with real-world benefits.
And it's not just about the individual rewards.
Imagine a future
where this kind of system helps to balance
the entire energy grid.
Wow.
So if everyone is incentivized
to use energy more efficiently,
it could make a huge difference.
Instead of just hoping people will make eco-friendly choices.
This system actually rewards them for it.
It's
like built-in motivation.
To go green.
That's what makes it so interesting.
What we're talking about here
is a fundamental shift in how we think about energy.
Okay.
It's not just a commodity anymore.
It's an active system.
Where everyone can participate.
And benefit.
And where does GE4A's global expansion fit into all of this?
They've got their sights set on the U.S.
Which, let's be honest, is a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal.
And it really speaks to their ambition.
But what's interesting about their approach
is that they're not just trying to muscle their way into the market.
Okay.
They're actively looking for partners.
Local governments, renewable energy organizations.
Even potential competitors.
So instead of trying to do it all themselves,
They're looking to collaborate.
and integrate with existing systems,
That seems pretty smart, especially in a market.
as complex as the U.S.,
Exactly.
they're recognizing that to create real change,
You need to work within existing structures.
build relationships, and find common ground.
And it sounds like they're not just looking for partners
They're inviting investors.
to join them on this journey,
Niche seems pretty confident in their model
even highlighting the potential.
for some serious ROI.
Return on investment.
And who can blame them?
They've got a compelling story to tell.
Increased efficiency, reduced waste.
A transparent and secure system for tracking everything.
Those are all attractive qualities.
For investors, whether they're motivated by profit or sustainability.
Or ideally both.
You know, it's funny. It feels like just yesterday, solar panels were this novelty.
Something you'd see on a magazine cover about futuristic homes,
Yeah.
and now we're talking about millions of them.
Being reused and managed by algorithms.
Talk about a plot twist.
It really highlights how quickly things are changing in the energy sector.
And it's not just about the technology itself.
It's about rethinking the whole system.
Remember when we talked about the circular economy?
Right.
That's a big part of what makes GE4A's approach so innovative.
Okay, so a quick refresh for our listeners.
Who maybe aren't familiar with the term.
What exactly do we mean by circular economy? And
Why is it relevant here?
it's a really simple idea, actually.
Instead of that traditional linear model of take, make, dispose,
Right?
a circular economy is all about keeping resources in use.
For as long as possible.
Okay.
So with solar panels, instead of just chucking them away,
When they reach the end of their life,
we find ways to reuse them, refurbish them, recycle them.
it's about maximizing value while minimizing waste.
Which makes a lot of sense, especially when you're talking about something.
As energy intensive to produce as solar panels.
But GE4A is taking it a step further.
By using digital tools to make that circular economy even more efficient.
Exactly.
And that's where things get really interesting.
Because it's not just about solar panels anymore.
Okay.
GE4A's story gets you thinking.
What other industries could benefit from this kind of...
Circular, digitally driven approach.
You mean like what if we applied this whole digital energy concept?
To say electric car batteries.
Yeah.
Or even something totally different like...
Fashion.
Exactly.
Think about the amount of waste in the fashion industry.
Oh, yeah.
What if we could track the entire life cycle of a garment?
From the raw materials to the manufacturing process.
To how many times it's been worn and resold.
And then use that data to create a more sustainable...
And transparent system.
It's almost like GE4A's vision for digital energy.
It is bigger than just energy.
It is.
It's about applying these principles of transparency, circularity.
And individual empowerment.
All sorts of different sectors.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really powerful takeaway.
From this deep dive,
GE4A is showing us that a more sustainable future isn't just possible.
it's something we can start building right now.
It's about thinking differently, embracing innovation, and
Perhaps most importantly, collaborating and working together.
to create systems that benefit everyone.
And that, my friends, is a wrap.
On our deep dive into GE4A Group and the future of renewable energy.
We hope you learned something new, challenged your assumptions.
And maybe came away feeling a little bit inspired.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions.
And keep those light bulbs of yours burning bright.